Good morning. Welcome to another Friday reading vlog, a special edition Friday reading vlog. Because this special edition Friday reading vlog is an Agatha Christie Friday reading vlog. So it's going to be all Agatha Christie themed. We're going to talk more about that when we get into the lounge. I'm currently reading The Agathas by Kathleen Glasgow and Liz Lawson. Quite enjoying it. 92 pages in. Fun read. You'd probably quite like this, David. It's a bit like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Yeah. Someone's gone missing and they're trying to look into it. And the person that is trying to look into it, Alice Ogilvy, she's obsessed with Agatha Christie. So there's a lot of references to Agatha Christie. Their teacher's called Mrs. Westmacott. Westmacott's a name that Agatha Christie used as a nom de plume, and sort of other references and stuff. And each chapter from Alice's point of view starts with an Agatha Christie quote or a bit from a book of hers. So, for example, chapter 11, which is the chapter I'm reading at the moment, the quote is, "Intuition is like reading a word without having to spell it out." And that is from The Murder at the Vicarage. Anyway, I thought I'd start in here because David said, put the camera on and ask me to make you a cup of tea, and I'll make you a cup of tea. So, David, will you make me a cup of tea? No. I've been asking him to make me a cup of tea all morning and he said no. And when I got the camera ready, he said, "Just to let you know, I'm still going to say no when you put the camera on." Why don't you want to make me a cup of tea?
Because I'm comfy. You've been up and about already.
I've opened the windows to enhance your comfort.
Yeah, there's so much wind this morning.
No. But yeah, I'll go and make us a cup of tea.
Oh, finally!
And I'll meet you on the sofa and we'll talk about plans for today. David, I've made your head the head of this book. Baby, 'cause you love me. Oh, oh. So then we try. If you slow down, baby, you stand fast. We touch, fast, we touch. But then I die.
He's a successful, intelligent person. Monty, I'm sorry to say, was a bad lot.
Oh, okay. Pause. Made a cup of tea. That I'm listening to is the Agatha Christie episode of You're Dead to Me, which is a podcast run by the BBC, run by BBC Radio 4. And it is a comedy podcast whereby they get comedians and experts on to talk about people who have died in history. And this episode is all about Agatha Christie. And it has Sue Perkins on it, who is a comedian and TV presenter that I really love, and Lucy Worsley, who is a historian and has done work on 6 Tudor Queens and has written a book on Agatha Christie. And with that in mind, shall we pick the books and the plans that I have for today? Was that a sneeze? Was that a sneeze, David?
Yeah.
Wow. That was a loud one. Right, let's go and pick the books. Here are the Agatha Christie books. And having just mentioned Lucy Worsley, I'm going to take Agatha Christie, a very elusive woman, over to the bench. To the sofa. I'm also going to take Marple, 12 New Stories, 12 Great Writers, 1 Agatha Christie. That's going over as well. We're also taking this lovely puzzle, The World of Agatha Christie, a jigsaw puzzle with 90 clues to spot. That's going over as well. Unrelated to Agatha Christie, we need a poem for every summer day. We also need the Lit Chat cards. And we need, although I don't think there's going to be anything on here. Where's my reading? Here it is. Digging down deep, guys. I take over the Ultimate Reading Challenge, but I don't think I'm going to be completing any of these today. But let's head on over back there. That looks like a fun lot to be getting on with today, doesn't it? So yeah, the books I've picked. So as I said, I'm already reading The Agathas by Kathleen Glasgow and Liz Lawson. I'm about 100 pages into this, 92 if I'm being honest. And I'm very much enjoying it, and I will continue with this today. I'm also listening to the audiobook of The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. So there is always going to be an actual Agatha Christie book on the go during this month. Now, I'm actually buddy reading The Murder of Roger Ackroyd with David's dad, who hasn't received his copy yet. So I'm listening to the audio of it, which I got on Libby, and we're doing 4 chapters a day. So I've only listened to 1.5 chapters. I started listening to it yesterday when I was cleaning my lounge door, in fact. But I'm going to carry on listening today and make a few notes of what happens in the first 4 chapters, so that when David's dad has read the first 4 chapters, I'm able to say, oh yeah, this is what happened. So I've been making notes as I go. So that's going to be listened to probably this afternoon. And then the 2 books I picked off from here are Lucy Worsley's Agatha Christie, A Very Elusive Woman. This is a book I got for my birthday last year from my sister-in-law, all about Agatha Christie. So I imagine the podcast that I'm listening to at the moment is going to be a sort of light version of this. But I want to make a start of this because I want to sort of read this as the month goes by. So maybe I'll have intentions. Okay, so the chapters are much shorter than I thought, but maybe I'll have intentions. Oh, it's got a family tree. I love a family tree. Let's have a look. Archibald Christie. Lovely. Oh, lovely. Okay, yeah, maybe I'll start on this. The other book that I picked up was Marple, 12 New Stories, 12 Great Writers, one Agatha Christie. So these are retellings of Miss Marple stories. I don't know anything about Miss Marple, apart from she is a woman invented by Agatha Christie who looks into murder cases. So this will be interesting going into retellings of stuff that I haven't read before. Now, when I was talking on Instagram about the plans, somebody mentioned that Miss Marple's hobby is knitting. So I think at some point today I'll do some knitting. Now, this isn't going to be anything. This is just purely my practice knitting. So this is me hoping that there's going to be some sort of knitting project going on today. I've started filming a few little bits of my early start, and I mean the early start's quite good. My mum helped me out with a lot of this, but yeah, I've just been knitting and practicing stitches and changing over colours of wools and things like that. So this is pure practice. I've got a few things that I want to actually make, but there's practice going on at the moment, so maybe I'll do a little bit of knitting later on whilst that is happening. And then you'll have seen me pick up the World of Agatha Christie puzzle, which is a puzzle I bought myself. I'm really into these World of puzzles. I included them in my Christmas gift guide last year. I've got the World of Jane Austen, the World of Frida Kahlo, the World of the Tudors, and the World of Shakespeare, and now the World of Agatha Christie. I got bought the World of Frida Kahlo for Christmas present by my friend Emma during lockdown, and then off the back of that I've gone and bought the Jane Austen one I bought during June Austen last year. And then I wanted the World of the Tudors one because I was doing the 6 Tudor Queens reading vlog. And then my mum got me the Shakespeare one for Christmas. Now my dad is also really enjoying them. He has done the Tudors, he's currently doing Shakespeare. I think he's then going to move on to the World of Jane Austen, and then he's gagging, absolutely gagging to do this one. So yeah, so I'm going to start on this today. Whether or not I start it this morning whilst listening to You're Dead to Me, or if I start it this afternoon. So I'd like to get the edges of this done today. It looks very fun. It's this picture, and these have got lots of different little clues as to Agatha Christie books. So I can see here some little piggies and some cards. And I imagine as the month goes on, some of these will become a bit more familiar to me, because I'm very... My Agatha Christie reading, I've read And Then There Were None, and I've read Body in the Library. Oh, and I've read Murder on the Orient Express, but apart from that, I haven't read any other ones, so... There we go, so that's the Agatha Christie reading, and then the sort of like standard stuff we'll be doing, because this is a Friday reading vlog, and if you haven't been here before, hi, I do these sort of regularly on a Friday, and they follow a sort of formula whereby at the beginning of the video, we ask ourselves a question from these lit chat questions, and then we answer those at the end. We also finish the whole vlog by reading a poem from a poem for every insert season here. We're currently in summer. It looks like autumn outside, but it is, I'm reassured, summer. And then if I complete one of my reading challenges out of my Ultimate Reading Challenge book, I will get a little prize. Now, I'm going to read the question first, because this will be the question that we discuss at the end of the video. So let's pick. It would be fun if there was like a mystery question, but I mean, I can't pick a mystery question but it would be fun, wouldn't it, if it was a mystery question? I don't get to pick. Right, okay. The Heart is a Lonely Hunter. And it says, where do you get your book recommendations, bestseller lists, magazines and newspaper reviews, old-fashioned word of mouth? That's a very good question, and I'll be very, very interested to hear from you guys. So yeah, I always ask for you guys to answer in the comments below. So I will be answering that at the end of the video. I ask you guys to answer it too. Where do you get your book recommendations, bestseller lists, magazines and newspaper reviews, or old-fashioned word of mouth? Great question. And then just before we crack on with my tea and a bit more of the Agathas, I'm just going to see if there's anything in here. Now this is, again, something that featured in my Christmas gift guide last year. And I've been working my way through the 26 challenges. Yeah, I think it's 26 challenges. The ones I've got left. Reread a classic you hated in high school. That hasn't happened yet. Attend an author event in person or virtually. Visit your local bookstore. None of these I'm going to be doing today. Reread a book you loved as a child. Go to your favourite section of the library or bookstore. Blindly take a book off the shelf and take it home to read. Write down your favourite passage from a bookshop. Read a book in a genre you've never read before. I have made plans for that, so that is one for planned. Read a book currently on a bestsellers list. Gift a copy of your favourite book to a friend or family. Read a book that features an Indigenous person. Ask a family member what book has made a lasting impression on them. Find and read that book. So yeah, none of these today are going to be being completed, but we're still on to this, and I would like to get this completed by the end of the year. So let's crack on with the Agathas then, and having a little read, a little cup of tea, and then I'm going to have a bowl of granola. And I really like scrambled egg on toast, but there's no bread, so it's granola today. I turn on her, and you know that how? I challenge, arching a brow. With your degree in psychology and forensics, who does this girl think she is? Well, that was very lovely. I actually read 3 books. So I read all 3 books that I meant. Oh God, they're so heavy. So I finished the end of my chapter of the Agathas, so I'm now on page 116. I read the introduction of A Very Elusive Woman. This is so heavy, this book. I can't believe it's so heavy. So yeah, it was basically like an introduction, and I had a closer look at the old family tree. And then I read the first story in the Marple collection, which I really enjoyed. Now, I said I'm not familiar with Miss Marple. I'm going to try and watch some Miss Marple at some point. But yeah, this one was by Lucy Foley and was called Evil in Small Places. And it was about the murder of a choir mistress, which was interesting because I am in a choir and I love my choir. So yeah, I think for the day I'm going to flip between these 3 and also the audiobook maybe this afternoon. The next short story is The Second Murder at the Vicarage by Val McDermid. I think now, I haven't listened to any more of that audio of the podcast, so I think I'm going to go and tidy up the table and make room for the puzzle, and start on the puzzle. And then I'm going to have a bath at some point, read more of Paperback in the Bath, because like I've said, these 2 are heavy, and then get ready and put on maybe like a Agatha Christie aesthetic outfit this afternoon. But I think puzzle first, so that's what I'm going to go and do now. That is.
And it's sort of, they say people going every night for 5 nights a week, or a different crowd. I mean, I could say so.
It's not bad, guess, 9.
Point of fact, the 9 offers included when she was back in England.
Oh, okay.
I think she only got 1 in Cairo.
Oh, was it a disaster then? Cairo is a funny day. But she come back with a tan. Is that what it is?
What do you do in that situation where you've got 9 offers? Do you sit down of an evening if they've got a Victorian? What the name? The daguerreotype.
Yes,
the daguerreotype of all the suitors that they've got laid out, and they pick them. How do they do it? Well, they come one after another, so you can't sort of compare them all unless you get 2.
Hello. Oh.
On the same night. No, she was engaged to one when another one came along. She had to choose between the 2.
Isn't it? The Icicon building is nearly bomb. Then the war ends and Max returns home safely, and hooray, good for that. And Rosalind has also had a real tragedy.
The way this fits into the 20th century more broadly is that this is the 1950s, which people think of as the age of the happy homemaker. And this is the one time in her life when Agatha Christie lets up a bit on the work in order to have the pleasure of...
Well, that was great fun. The audio, the podcast was fantastic. And if you're looking for something a bit Agatha Christie-esque to listen to, would highly recommend You're Dead to Me, which is available, I guess, on all good podcasting platforms. Yeah, and I mean, I've done this much puzzle, so I've done the base all the way up here, and I was about to start on the top. I think maybe I will finish the top. I'm a bit annoyed because I must have not got all the edges out, because there's one piece there and one piece there that are missing, and none of those match those pieces, so I must have not sorted them out as much as I'd have hoped. It's 20 to 11. I'm quite enjoying being in my pyjamas and just having a lovely Agatha Christie morning. I can hear David in the shower. I'm thinking of maybe having a bath. Maybe I'll have a bath. Maybe I'll have a bath. And yeah, I think David and I are going to potentially watch a film, like a mystery film or something tonight, like either an Agatha Christie remake or I've been meaning to. I mean, it won't be helpful to my trying to do 100 new films in this year, of rewatching some of the, oh my god, what are they called? The Glass Onion, Knives Out. I'd quite like to rewatch one of those, so maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll find something else a bit mystery-ish, but yeah, I think we're going to watch a film tonight. And yeah, so I'm going to finish off doing these bits and then potentially go and get in the bath and read the Agathas in the bath. But I am having, honestly, a lovely time. So on we go. It's nearly time to get ready. Well, I'm going to go and have a bath. Now, I bought a few things secondhand online in order to sort of fit an Agatha Christie aesthetic. I looked on Pinterest and searched Agatha Christie outfit aesthetic and the sort of stuff that was coming on. I mean, let me just bloody show you now. I'll record my screen and do that because I know how to do that sort of thing now. So, Agatha Christie outfits, aesthetic outfits. So, this first picture of Gal Gadot in Death on the Nile, I thought this blouse was very much like that, and this sort of style comes up a lot. You'll see there's some big wide trousers there. I've got big wide trousers here. There's a lot of sort of cardigans and stuff, but although we're having a cooler summer, it's not quite cool enough for that. There's Gal Gadot again in that blouse. Look, lots of coats and things like that. But yeah, another pair of wide-legged trousers, this time with a sort of shorter, and a hat. Another pair of wide-legged trousers. Another pair of wide-legged trousers. So yeah, we've got a few sort of ideas here. Trench coat. I actually bought a trench coat along with these two pieces. I bought 3 pieces from the same seller. But yeah, so this is what I've sort of come up with off the back of that. This blouse, which like I said is sort of the classic-y sort of, maybe like Death on the Nile light linen type thing. I bought this, which is lovely, and I have already worn this, but I thought this was sort of like tuck into cigarette trousers type thing. Also maybe a little bit cool midwife, but that sort of vibe. And then, like I said, the 2 pairs of trousers, so like a big wide pair of trousers, which I thought would go quite nicely with this. And then, like I said, there was hats, and I've actually got, I bought this for my honeymoon and wore it on my honeymoon, a wide brimmed hat with this green ribbon. So I thought this would all go perfectly together. This shirt tucked into these with this hat. Let's go and have a bath and then see if it works. Well, I feel very pleased. Except this shirt is so itchy. So I've got myself a little hat. I think it all matches very nicely. But the shirt is so itchy. So much so, I'm not even sure I'll be able to keep it on all day. It's a very Agatha Christie look, I think, though. But yeah, the shirt is so itchy. I think if I was to keep it, it's itchy here. So I don't even know if I was to wear like a vest underneath, if that would make any difference, because the vest would just be straps. It looks lovely though, and the big wide leg trousers go very nice as well. So yeah, I've got to get David to come with me to the park to get a photo of me looking all like I'm about to investigate a village murder. Found it! I've had to change my top because it was so itchy. I wonder if maybe with something underneath it might be all right. Now, it was so beautifully sunny when we went to the park and took some photos. I will insert the photos of me in my Agatha Christie outfit here, and holding my Agatha Christie, A Very Elusive Woman book, David took some of me and my niece took some of me, and she was very funny. She was saying, right, open your legs, do this, do that. I will also insert some of those, the niece's cut ones. And then we went to the shop and bought some bread and some salad, and we all come home and had egg salad sandwiches, which was nice. And then my niece is absolutely obsessed with, is it called Garden Rescue?
Yeah, I think so.
On iPlayer, and we watched 2 episodes of that, and honestly, she sits like this the whole time. It's like an adult programme about revamping gardens. She is 3, and she's so into it. So yeah, they've just gone, and it is now so dark that I think I'm going to make myself a cup of tea, and I might watch the first episode of, like, Why Ever Did You Ask Evans, or whatever it's called. I'm sure it's called something like that. Yeah, rather than do a little bit more reading, because I think that's just what it calls for. I just feel like I want to watch. Do you want to watch this Will Poulter thing, David, or are you not that bothered?
Watch the first episode. If you think I like it, I'll catch up.
Well, that's great then. I will put that on now, and we'll see how it is. Oh, but don't we don't have ITVX, do we, on the iPlayer, on the PlayStation?
Oh no, you'll have to. Yeah, you'll have to wait until I'm done then.
Well, it's fine. I could just watch it on my laptop. I mean, do I want to do that though? I do like to watch things on the big screen. Do like to watch things on the big screen. Maybe I'll listen to my chapters, and although I don't need to listen to those chapters, maybe I'll see what else is on Agatha Christie wise on the telly, because I do feel like sitting and watching something. Yeah, I'm going to do that. God, it really is getting dark in here, you can see. So I've just gone on iPlayer, BBC iPlayer, and seen that I typed in Agatha, and the only thing that come on was the Lucy Worsley on the Mystery Queen. A life as dramatic as her work, Lucy Worsley discovers the origins of Agatha Christie's macabre magic, and with some compelling characters uncovers carefully concealed secrets. So that is 3 episodes, both of which are an hour each. Now, I'm keen to watch it. You know, I've been getting on with Lucy Worsley, having only read a few pages of this book, and also having listened to the You're Dead to Me podcast. Do I want to now watch an episode of this or is this gonna, I mean, maybe it'll just reinforce this. Yeah, maybe I will watch. I'm gonna watch an episode of this. So the first one is called Cat Among the Pigeons, and it's 59 minutes long, and I'm going to watch it right now. So here we go. I'm excited. God, I never watch any telly. I'm not making a cup of tea yet, but I will do it in a bit. Unless you want to do one. I didn't lovingly make you that egg sandwich. Anyway, let's watch this. Bit scary.
Agatha Christie's childhood is haunted by a sinister phantom.
Ooh. Well, I enjoyed that a lot. It was very, very good. It definitely went over into more detail some of the stuff that I learned when listening to the podcast this morning, and I imagine some of the stuff that I'll learn in the book. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It focused mainly on her childhood and World War I and her first marriage. But yeah, Lucy Worsley's very engaging. I sort of like her flouncing around in like nice bright coloured tea dresses and sitting on the steps of somewhere and reading out a passage from The Affair at Styles or from Agatha Christie's autobiography. Yeah, enjoyed it a lot. David and I are now about to film a first line battle video. David is going to pick my TBR for me in September, so I thought I would also let him pick the first line battled book, which I'm quite looking forward to doing with him actually, because I think David's a very visual person, so it'll be interesting to see what he ends up picking. So yeah, so that's what we're doing now, and then he's going to go and buy some dishwasher tablets. Exciting. Well, I've had a lovely sesh and I've listened to 4 chapters of my audiobook, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. As I said, I've gone into it knowing a massive spoiler, so it's an interesting way to listen to it. But I've done quite a lot of the old puzzle guys, so I'm feeling quite pleased with myself. I'll show you what I've done. Oh, it does give me stiff shoulders though, so I can only do a certain amount every day. Like, my dad has been busting through these puzzles and he does them in like a day and a half, and I don't know how he does it because it really hurts my shoulders. Here we are. So I've done a lot of this bottom bit, and then here is Agatha herself. Now she actually belongs a little bit lower here because she's going to connect somewhere around here. Not there, but somewhere around here. But yeah, it's going quite well. But I'm going to stop there for the evening. Good morning, nearly afternoon actually. It's one of those Friday reading vlogs that has extended into Saturday. Lucky me, lucky you. And yeah, I'm just doing a few chores. I sat and read more of my 3 books this morning. Look at the state of me. And that was very fun. And then I've just listened to an episode of a podcast called Shedunnit, which is run by the BBC. It's on BBC Sounds. It's also on other platforms. And I've been through and picked out all of the Agatha Christie ones, and the ones I've just listened to, the one I just listened to was very, very important. Very important in that it was about the changing of some of the words and language used in Agatha Christie books. Obviously, her career span a long time in the past, and a lot of the words and language that she would have used is now completely unacceptable, and the ways in which publishers and readers have approached that now. I found it very, very interesting. I feel like it's an important thing to mention in this month, because there are words and things used in Agatha Christie books and language that I would never dream of using. But yes, it was definitely worth a listen. So that was me doing that. I'm just doing my doors of my ensuite. They look so lovely. I'm so proud of myself being such a cleaner these days. I'm going to do a few more chores, then I'm going to get changed into another Agatha Christie-esque outfit and do a little bit more puzzle, and then we're going to my mum and dad's for dinner tonight and to play Catan. So yeah, I'll let you know how we get on, and I'll wrap it all up as we normally would. Goodbye! Shall I do this like a transition? Boom! Was completed an Agatha Christie top and wide leg trousers for more of that Agatha Christie look applied. It feels a bit strange wearing something like this at the weekend. At the weekend I'm much more of a jeans and a t-shirt girl. But yeah, I'm continuing the Agatha Christie vlog, so I wanted you to have the authentic Agatha Christie content that you deserve. So, cleaning's done. It's now 5 to 2. The Gousto could be coming any time between 2:39 and 4:39, after which we will then go to my parents. So I think the afternoon until it arrives, so it could arrive as soon as sort of 45 minutes. I'm just going to be spending reading my books. Now what I've done, does anyone else do this? Like sort of like flip between 3 books. I've been reading a chapter of this, a chapter of this, and then a short story. With short stories, I definitely need to do that. I need to read them and then come back to them, so that's working out quite well. But where the chapters of this are quite short, that's also working out quite well. Yeah, so I'm just over halfway through this. I mean, I'm negligible way through this. I'm on page 13, and oh, I don't know, a lot of it's sources. It's about 350 pages long. And then I've read 3 short stories from this Marple collection. This is making me think that I would actually really like Marple, the TV show, because I've been very into all of them. I think my first was probably, my favourite was probably the first one, Evil in Small Places, which is the murder of a choir master. But all of them are very good. But yeah, I think I'm going to continue, and I'm on chapter 22 of the Agathas. This may well get finished this weekend. Very good. Let's go. So David and I are just going to settle down. We keep joking about that, don't we? Where we keep at the beginning of everything we say, we go. We're going to settle down and watch the first episode of Why Didn't They Ask Evans, which is adapted. I mean, I don't actually know what. It just says Agatha Christie's Why Didn't They Ask Evans. It's got Will Poulter in it. Oh, it's a work of detective fiction, first published. Okay, so it is based on an Agatha Christie book. It's got Will Poulter in it, David's work friend. David's worked with him at work. And Lucy, I can't think of her name, but she was in Bohemian Rhapsody and Sing Street.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, so the first episode, I mean, it's, how many episodes were there, David? Did you see?
I don't know, I didn't see.
We're going to see how we get on. What are you expecting, David?
Just an Agatha Christie. It's probably somebody's going to get murdered quite early on. And
I'm expecting some nice coats.
Yeah.
And then maybe you can...
Autumnal weather.
Ooh, that'd be
or
nice.
spring.
Right, let's see how we go. Well, I quite enjoyed it. David fell asleep for the vast majority, and then I did some knitting. As I said, this isn't going to be anything, this is just me practicing my knitting, but I've forgotten how to do knit one, purl one, so I'm just doing knitting at the moment, but I will go
Drop one, curl one.
knit. What's that? Something to do with football?
Yeah, Vindaloo.
Ah, me and my mum and my dad.
Curl one, drop one, curl one.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to wrap up the vlog here because it is now 10 to 4, and as I said, we're going to go to my mum and dad's as soon as the Gousto's arrived. I've just checked, there's 6 more stops before us, so I'm going to go and get all the bits, and then we're going to answer the question and read the poem. So, one moment. So the question, my friends, was, where do you get your book recommendations, bestseller lists, magazine and newspaper reviews, old-fashioned word of mouth? Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, which you all are, you'll know that a lot of my recommendations I get from other booktubers. I used to, before I joined BookTube, all of my reading recommendations I used to get from the Richard and Judy book club. So they do a book club, I think they still do it now, seasonally. And they used to release 6 titles, and I used to read those, and if I particularly liked any of the books that I'd read, which didn't always happen because they weren't, so I don't know if they were, but they're sort of like thrillers and historical fiction and stuff like that, but if I liked any of those, I would then look at the back catalogues of the other authors, of that author. I'd also get from Goodreads lists of books that were being made into TV or film that year, because I thought, well, they must be good if they're making them into TV and film. But since finding BookTube, I've definitely found my reading groove, and that's where I get a lot of my recommendations. I follow a lot of booktubers that like to read the same things as me, so that's where I majority, or hyped books, a lot of the hype that goes on BookTube, that interests me a lot, so I read a lot of books that people are excited about. And then I guess in terms of bestseller lists or magazines and newspaper reviews, so bestseller lists, I don't really come into contact with bestseller lists, but I definitely try and read every year, as you'll know, the Women's Prize for Fiction long list. I don't really look at any other prizes, and I know that the Booker long list has just come out at the moment, but yeah, the only sort of list I would read is the Women's Prize for Fiction list. Magazine and newspaper reviews, I don't usually, I'm interested in those. I get the Sainsbury's magazine delivered every month, and I'm always interested in that. And when I was at work, one of our housekeepers before he retired used to give me the Times insert, and that always had book reviews in there, and I always used to enjoy having a look at those. But I very rarely get influenced by those, because I think BookTube is so sort of relevant, and stuff that's coming, and like here's stuff that's coming out and stuff like that. I've often read the books that are being reviewed. Old-fashioned word of mouth, that also happens. So because people know that I'm very into books, quite often I'll be chatting and someone will say, oh, you must read this, or oh, have you read this, or if you like that, you might well like that. So yeah, a bit of everything for me, but I'm always interested to hear where you guys get your book recommendations. Where do you get your book recommendations? Bestseller lists, magazines and newspaper reviews, old-fashioned word of mouth? Interested to hear. So let us have the poem. It is Saturday the 5th of August. Let's find the poem. The 2 options for today are, God, the last time we did one of these was a long time ago. If by Rudyard Kipling, or If-ing by Langston Hughes. If by Rudyard Kipling, or If-ing by Langston Hughes. Should we go for If-ing by Langston Hughes? Because I think a lot of people will be familiar with If by Rudyard Kipling, and let's try and learn something a little bit new. So here we go. If I had some small change, I'd buy me a mule, get on that mule and ride like a fool. If I had some greenbacks, I'd buy me a Packard, fill it up with gas and drive that baby backward. If I had $1 million, I'd get me a plane, and everybody in America'd think I was insane. But I ain't got $1 million. Fact is, I ain't got a dime. So just by If-ing, I have a good time. I quite like that. I'm quite into If-ing. If this, if that. If you did this, what would you do if? Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. So there we go. The reading vlog Agatha Christie style for you. There will be another one of these coming at some point in the month as well, because there's other Agatha Christie stuff that I would like to do this month. And yeah. Let me know how your August are going. Let me know if you're joining in with Agatha Christie. And I'll see you all again soon for another BookTube video. Say bye, David.
Bye.
Bye.